Today we are going to see the estimation of hardness by EDTA. The
మా వీడియో అంత వినండి అందరూ, మరి మేడం డౌట్స్ అడుగుతారంట. హలో ఉన్నారా
నాగేశ్వరి?
శైలజ అది వీడియో పెడతారంట మేడం, అది వినాలంట.
aim of the experiment is to estimate the total hardness present in the water sample. Not only total hardness, we will also find out the temporary hardness as well as the permanent hardness. Now, what do you mean by hardness? Hardness is a characteristic of water which prevents the lathering of soap. If a water fails to lather with soap, then we call the water as a hard water. What is the reason for the non-lathering of soap? It is mainly because of the presence of calcium ions and magnesium ions present in the water sample. These two ions combine with the soap and it forms a curdy white precipitate. And instead of producing lather, this produces a scum. So this is the reason for hardness. We have two different types of hardness. The first one is the temporary hardness. The ions responsible for temporary hardness are the bicarbonates of calcium and magnesium. The other type of hardness is permanent hardness. The permanent hardness is because of the chlorides and sulfate of calcium, magnesium. Now, how will you do this experiment? First of all, you will take the standard hard water which contains the calcium and magnesium. To that you will be adding an ammoniacal buffer. How much you are going to add? 1 full test tube of ammoniacal buffer. What is the role of buffer? The buffer is to maintain the pH of the experiment. How much pH you get in this experiment? The moment you add ammoniacal buffer, it will render a pH somewhere around 9 to 10. And this will enhance a complex formation between the calcium, magnesium with the indicator as well as with the EDTA you are going to add. Now, when you start doing your experiment, the first part is standardization of EDTA. But before that, I will tell you what are the apparatus needed for this experiment. First of all, you need a burette, and then you need a 20 ml pipette, conical flask. Then you have your standard hard water and EDTA. EDTA is the link solution. This one is the ammoniacal buffer you are going to add, and this one is the EBT indicator. You are going to add a pinch of indicator. Right, so these are the reagents you need, and this one is the standard hard water. What is standard hard water? How you prepare this? Standard hard water is prepared by dissolving 1 gram of calcium carbonate in 1 liter of water. Now, how you are going to perform your experiment? The experiment consists of 3 parts. First part is the standardization of the EDTA. The second part is the estimation of total hardness. The third part is the estimation of permanent hardness. Now we will look at how we are going to standardize the EDTA. First of all, you have to take your burette, then you have to wash it with little amount of distilled water. After washing and rinsing with distilled water, you have to fill this burette with the given EDTA, which is called as the link solution, whose normality we are going to find out now. This one is the EDTA whose normality we are supposed to find out. Now fill your burette with EDTA. Now you have to adjust the level to 0 mark. Now the lower meniscus should touch the mark, and you ensure the lower meniscus is touching the 0 mark. Now fix it to the burette stand. After fixing the burette to the burette stand, you have to pip it out exactly 20 ml of standard hard water, which contains 1 gram of calcium carbonate. Rinse your pipette with a little amount of distilled water. After rinsing and cleaning with distilled water, you have to pip it out a little amount of standard hard water. and then you have to rinse it. Slowly you have to rinse it and you have to discard the solution. Now after that, you have to pipette out exactly 20 ml into a clean conical flask. Right, when the lower meniscus is touching the mark in the pipette, the volume pipetted out is exactly 20 ml. Now carefully transfer the pipette solution into the conical flask. Now some portion is left out in the pipette, and that is called as the excluded volume. You just touch the pipette in the inner wall of the conical flask and all the solution will run down into the conical flask. Now I have pipetted out exactly 20 ml of the standard hard water into the clean conical flask. The next step is addition of buffer. How much you are going to add? You are going to add just one test tube of ammoniacal buffer. And I have mentioned already, what is the role of buffer? Used to maintain the pH as well as to maintain a pH somewhere around 9 to 10. That is the role of buffer. Now I am going to add a pinch of indicator to this. You will see a color change. What color change? A wine red color. See, the moment I have added EBT indicator, you are able to see a wine red color. You know what is the reason for wine red color formation? The calcium present in the standard hard water has formed a complex with the Eriochrome black tea. And as a result, you are able to see the wine red colored complex. And this is a weak complex. This wine red colored complex will be titrated against EDTA taken in the burette. Now I am going to perform the titration. Now slowly from the burette, you have to add EDTA into the conical flask and you have to look for the color change. You are not supposed to look at the level, but you have to watch your conical flask and its content. See, there is a slow and gradual color change. Previously, the reason for this steel blue color. Now, I'll explain you. Initially, you have added EBT to your standard hard water and there was a complex formation, and I mentioned it's a weak complex, EBT metal ion complex, calcium and magnesium. So it gave a wine red color. When you start titrating this EDTA, EDTA has a strong affinity for the calcium which is present in the standard hard water. So slowly this EDTA will remove, it replaces calcium which was present in the first complex. All the calcium has been replaced by the EDTA. So the EDTA has formed a strong complex with the calcium present in the hard water. At that point, the indicator EBT is released from the first complex. So you have having two complexes. One is the unstable complex, a weak complex, and the later one between the EDTA and calcium is a very strong complex. The moment calcium was totally removed from the first calcium EBT complex, this type of steel blue is released. So this is the free indicator and you are able to see the steel blue color. Now you have to repeat the titration for concordancy. Now let us watch the reading. It is somewhere, it is 18.8 ml. So this is your first titer value. You cannot depend on your first titer value because you may add a little amount in excess. So you have to repeat the titration for another 2 times to get the accurate value. Now you have to do the same way another 1 or 2 titrations. Again you top up your burette with the EDTA up to 0 mark, pipette out exactly 20 ml of the standard hard water, add a pinch of indicator. Once again you develop a wine red color and the wine red colored will be titrated against EDTA. Once again the same thing will happen, removal of calcium from the first complex and EDTA calcium complex will be formed at the later stage. So once again you develop this type of steel blue color. Now repeat the titration for 1 more time. So you have done 3 trials and you will get your concordant titer value. What is a concordant titer value? Identical consecutive value. Suppose if your titer value for the first time is 18.8 and second time you are getting 18.6 and third time 18.8, there is no concordancy. If your titer value is 18.8, second time 18.6 and third time 18.6, then 18.6 can be taken as the concordant titer value. Are you clear, students? So this is the concordant titer value. Now you enter the values in the first tabular column, standardization of EDTA. Now let us move on to the second part of the experiment. The second part of the experiment is estimation of total hardness of the given water sample. First iteration we have done it with standard hard water we have prepared, and the second one is a sample hard water. The sample hard water, the hardness you do not know. We are going to estimate the hardness. We are going to find out the total hardness, we are going to find out the permanent hardness, and ultimately we will find out the temporary hardness by finding the difference between total hardness and permanent hardness. Now I will teach you how to do the permanent hardness estimation. Dear students, this is the water sample, and for this water sample only we are going to find out the total hardness, permanent hardness and temporary hardness. Now we will measure exactly 50 ml of this water sample, given water sample, using a measuring cylinder. Okay, now you just see the lower meniscus is touching the 50 ml mark. Now carefully transfer this 50 ml of the given water sample into a clean conical flask. After transferring, you need to add 1 test tube of ammoniacal buffer and a pinch of Eriochrome black tea indicator. See the ammoniacal buffer, how much I am going to add? 1 test tube of ammoniacal buffer. You know the reason for adding buffer is to maintain the pH as well as to get a pH somewhere around 9 to 10. Now I have added 1 test tube of ammoniacal buffer. In the sample water also you have the calcium, magnesium, chlorides, sulfates, bicarbonates and carbonates. That is why you are supposed to find out what is the total hardness, what is the permanent hardness and what is the temporary hardness. Now I have added the ammoniacal buffer and I am going to add a pinch of indicator. The moment you add the Eriochrome black tea indicator, you are able to see a wine red color. So this wine red color formation is because of, already I mentioned, the presence of calcium, magnesium in the sample water, right? It has formed the complex with the Eriochrome black tea. Such a wonderful and brilliant wine red colored complex will be titrated against the EDTA taken in the burette. Now you top up your burette with EDTA solution. Fine. Now adjust the volume or 0 mark. Now this wine red colored complex will be titrated against EDTA taken in the burette. You just observe, my dear students. And when you keep on adding this, once again there is a gradual replacement of calcium from this complex by the EDTA will be taking place. Slowly the EBT calcium complex will be replaced by EDTA calcium. So at one point of time there will be a sharp color change from wine red to steel blue, you are going to notice. And this one is an intermediate color, a transition color, right? You saw what was wine red and this one is a transition color, and still if you add another 1 or 2 drops, you will see the real color change, wine red to steel blue. See how many transitions you are able to find out. Wine red, a little change in color, and now this is the steel blue. The real steel blue color is for your reference. Okay, now if you see your burette, the EDTA consumption is about 16.9. Now you can test your accuracy, how far you are accurate, how far you have added in excess. How can you do that? If you put 1 drop of your pipette solution, that is the standard hard water, if the color changes to wine red, then your endpoint is accurate. Or if it consumes 3 or 4 or 5 drops, that indicates you have added excess EDTA. And this is called as a back titration. By the addition of 1 drop, if you are able to restore the color change, that is your accurate endpoint. See, the color is once again changing. So my endpoint is very accurate. Value. So first time if I added anything in excess, during the second and third trial you can correct yourself, right? So it gives a range or idea. My titer value is coming somewhere around 17. So during the second trial, you can simply run down your solution up to 16 ml without any fear. And after that, you have to add slowly in drops. See, if you add one particular drop, the drop will make a sharp color change, right? So this is how you can do 3 trials and you can find out your concordant titer value. Now I have finished the second part of my experiment. This value is taken as V2. The first titration, the value is taken as V1. The concordant titer value is taken as V1. And this titration, second titration, the value is taken as V2. Now we are going to do this last part of the experiment, that is the estimation of permanent hardness. Take this type of 200 or 250 ml beaker. In this you have to measure exactly 100 ml of sample water given to you. I'll repeat one more time. For the first titration we have pipetted out 20 ml of standard hard water. That is your pipette volume. For the second titration we have measured 50 ml of the sample water. For the third titration, we are measuring 100 ml and we are transferring the 100 ml into a beaker. Now, why we are measuring 100 ml? Because we need to remove the temporary hardness present in it. How a temporary hardness can be removed? Simply if you boil the water solution, you can remove the temporary hardness. What is the reaction taking place when you boil the water sample? CaHCO3 twice is the calcium bicarbonate. When it is heated, it forms calcium carbonate and carbon dioxide and water. The carbon dioxide is evolved into the atmosphere. So the calcium carbonate is precipitated. That is why you are able to remove the temporary hardness present in it. Similarly, the magnesium bicarbonate is converted to magnesium hydroxide and carbon dioxide. So boiling, strong boiling is necessary. How long you have to boil? Till the volume gets reduced to 50%. And now see, the level is 100 ml. When you strongly boil, there will be an evaporation of the water taking place and slowly the water level decreases. And when it reaches 50 ml, you have to stop your boiling. After that, you need to filter this into a clean conical flask with the help of a filter paper. Then the collected 50 ml of water will be taken for the third titration. Now, let me boil the water sample. When you strongly boil the water, you are trying to remove the temporary hardness present in it. When the temporary hardness is removed, the left out one will be the permanent hardness causing ions like chlorides and sulfates of calcium, magnesium, right? So that hardness, the permanent hardness only can be estimated in the third part of your titration. Now let it boil for some time. See students, the water is boiling, and if you just look at the level from 100 ml, slowly it has been reduced to about 50 ml, right? Now in the meantime, till it reaches the 50 ml, I'll show you how to make a paper cone, because the paper cone is very essential for the filtration of the boiled sample. Now you take a filter paper, fold it this way, and you are able to see a triangle like structure. Once again you fold the second fold, and if you just open it, your paper cone is ready. Now you have to insert the paper cone into the funnel. Put off the flame and wait for some time, right? It will be very hot, so don't use your bare hands to hold this. So using any cloth you can hold this. Now you hold it and carefully transfer the hot boiled water sample, which is free from the temporary hardness, into the clean conical flask. See, slowly I am transferring the boiled water sample. Let it drain into the conical flask. Now I have completely transferred all the boiled water sample. You have to throw the filter paper into the dustbin, not into the sink or wash basin, right? Keep this in your mind. Now to this boiled water sample, you are going to add the same reagents. What are the reagents you are going to add? Ammoniacal buffer and the Erichrome black tea indicator. 1 full test tube of ammoniacal buffer. I am adding 1 test tube of ammoniacal buffer, and I am going to add a pinch of indicator. Do not add the indicator in excess. And if you add excess indicator, sometimes it will be very difficult to distinguish the color change. Right? You will find it difficult whether you have reached your end point or not. The steel blue color may be very intense in nature if you add excess indicator. Add a few crystals, right? In the previous titration, I added a little excess, but this time I am adding the required and desired amount, right? So this wine red colored complex formation is because of the calcium, right, and magnesium with the EBT indicator. So this weak complex again will be titrated against EDTA taken in the burette. Now I am going to do the last trial or titration. And this titration I will be doing just once. I am not going to repeat 3 trials because boiling involves a lot of time. So this titration, when you do, you must do it with the utmost care. And here you are not going to repeat 3 times and you will never get your concordant titer value. You will be doing just once. Keep this in your mind and slowly add. Now level it to 0 mark and let us start the titration. Slowly add the EDTA into the conical flask. Now see, there is a wonderful color change. So no need for 3 trials, this one is enough. Now you just take the titer value. It is 13.7 ml. So this is your V3 and you have to substitute this titer value in your calculation part. V3 means this is 13.7. So in the V3 part you are going to substitute this value and you will do your calculation. There is no need for any concordancy. Now in the next segment we are going to see the calculation. Dear students, now let us see the calculation. Titration 1, standardization of EDTA. If you see the table, the concordant titer value is 18.8 ml. Let us continue the calculation. Volume of standard hard water we have pipetted out is 20 ml. 1 ml of standard hard water contains 1 milligram of calcium carbonate. 20 ml of standard water contains 20 milligram of calcium carbonate. 20 ml of standard hard water consumes V1 ml of EDTA. V1 ml of EDTA is equivalent to 20 milligrams of calcium carbonate. So 1 ml of EDTA is equal to 20 divided by 18.8 milligrams of calcium carbonate. That is nothing but your concordant titer value. In the titration 2, we are going to estimate the total hardness of the given water sample. In the estimation of total hardness, we have pipetted out 50 ml of the given sample water, and for that the concordant titer value is found to be 16.9. 50 ml of the water sample consumes V2 ml of EDTA. V2 is nothing but the concordant titer value 16.9. 1 ml of EDTA is equal to 20 divided by 18.8 milligrams of calcium carbonate. V2 ml of EDTA is equal to 20 divided by 18.8 into 16.9 milligrams of calcium carbonate. So the total hardness in 1000 ml is equal to 20 divided by 18.8, that is nothing but your V1, into 16.9, that is nothing but your V2 ml, into 1000 divided by 50 milligrams of calcium carbonate. If you do the calculation, you get the total hardness as 360 ppm. ppm means parts per million. We have calculated the total hardness of the given water sample. In the third titration, we are going to estimate the permanent hardness of the water sample. Here we have taken 100 ml of the water sample and it was boiled to 50 ml, and it is used for your titration. Here the concordant titer value is 13.7 ml. 100 ml of the water sample consumes V3 ml EDTA. 1 ml of EDTA is equivalent to 20 divided by 18 milligrams of calcium carbonate. V3 ml of EDTA is equal to 20 divided by 18.8 into 13.7, that is nothing but your V3. Permanent hardness in 1000 ml sample is equivalent to 20 divided by 18.8, that is nothing but your V1, into 13.7, which is nothing but V3, into 1000 divided by 100. 100 is the volume of the water sample we have taken, into milligrams of calcium carbonate. If you multiply and calculate, the permanent hardness in 1 liter of the sample is found to be 146 parts per million. We have done the calculation and found out the total hardness as well as permanent hardness. In order to find out the temporary hardness, the permanent hardness has to be subtracted from total hardness. The total hardness is 360 ppm and the permanent hardness is 146 ppm. So if you subtract 146 ppm from 360, we will come to know the temporary hardness. It is 214 ppm. Result: total hardness is equal to 360 ppm. Permanent hardness is equal to 146 ppm. The temporary hardness is 214 ppm.